guys all know the story of Moses. He was found in Egypt in a basket, brought up in the Egyptian ways, worshiping the Pharaoh. And eventually he found God and left and found a wife and started in a Christian community. And he would listen to God and always do it exactly what he said. And at one point, God said, you know what, you need to go get my Israelites out of Egypt, because the Pharaoh and all of his, workers, they were really, suppressing the Israelites' faith. And so faithful Moses goes in there and he says, hey, I'm going to take the Israelites out. And in Exodus 20, after Moses had gotten them all out of Egypt, God led him to a mountain and said, these are my 10 commandments. These are 10 things that I want you to follow. And, they were just basic things that God said, I don't want you to do. I don't want you to steal. I don't want you to, have a bunch of lust in you. I want you to love your neighbor. And as Christians, we follow, those rules day to day. Muslims have something like that. It's called the 5 Pillars of Islam. And they try to follow these day to day, just like the 10 Commandments, just to serve, Allah, their Lord. In this speech, I will inform you of the 5 Pillars of Islam. The first 2 I'm going to talk to you guys about is the Shahada and the Salat. The second 2 are the Zakat and the Psalm. And the third one is the Hajj. So for the first part, it's the Shahada. And the Shahada is something that is a testimony of your faith, which is saying you only believe in Allah and you're going to serve him, and that you also take Muhammad as the last prophet that God ever spoke to. Muslims believe that all over the world God had prophets to speak to all different types of people and all different languages, but they just believe that Muhammad was the last one before God went up to heaven. The Shahada is said in Arabic, but translated it says, I profess that I will only serve Allah and that Muhammad is the last prophet. When someone is dying, it's normal for them to say this, right before they die. When someone is converting to the Muslim faith, they'll say this, and it's almost like being baptized, saying you believe in God and you're going to serve him. It has to be voluntary. When you say the Shahada, it can't be something that you're doing for anyone else. It's supposed to be, you confessing to your God that you believe in him. The second part of that is the Salat. The Salat is about prayer. There's 5 different times to pray. The Fair is before sunset, or before sunrise. The Door is at noon. The Azur is in the middle of the day. The Maghrib is during sunset. And then there's the Isha, which is during the evening. When you pray, or when a Muslim prays, they'll wash themselves first, because you always want to be clean before talking to God. And you'll be on your knees or something. You can have your palms up. But there's different times and different ways that you pray. The Friday noon prayer is a group prayer that everyone does together. You don't have to. But you always face Mecca during your prayer wherever you are. And you can pray anywhere. You can pray in your mosque. You can pray at school. You can pray at your work. But you just should pray 5 times a day. So my second paragraph is about the Zakat and Psalm. Zakat is about fasting, and when you fast, you can't have sex or eat or drink between dawn and dusk every day. And usually you'll try to do this during the month of Ramadan, and it's mandatory for anyone who is over the age of 11. And if you're sick or elderly, pregnant, breastfeeding, you don't have to do it, and you can make it up when you're in good health, or it's not detrimental to your health. Or you can make it up some other way. It just is about the circumstances and everything. When you fast, there's 3 different types. You can do ritual fasting. You can do fasting for a sin, or ascetic fasting. It just depends on what you're doing. And fasting is something that you're doing it's like it's just showing God how faithful you are to them. The psalm is about charity. And psalm is giving 2.5% of one's income to someone who needs it, whether it be the church or poor or anything like that. You can give your psalm based on how much someone needs for their food during the month of Ramadan, or you can do it based on just giving. Usually it's about $3,275, but if you can't give that during your year because you just don't have enough money for it, you can do something else, like just giving back to your community by being nice to everyone or just something like that. My fifth point is about the Hajj, and the Hajj is a pilgrimage to Mecca where you travel there during a certain month. You can do it whenever, but you're supposed to do it at least once during your life. You go there, and it's a huge group of people, everyone getting together, and it's pretty awesome. During this, once you get to the top of my picture, you're going to put on your white robes and everything, and then as you travel down, there's certain things you start to do. You circle the Kaaba 7 times, you go to Mina, and you stone the devil, and you kiss the black stone, which symbolized where the Kaaba as a holy place. You circle the mountains and everything, and it can take 2 to 3 days with a huge population of how many people are there. If you're sick or elderly or something like that, you don't have to do it again, but you should probably do it if you have the means to do it. The pilgrimage makes you a Hajj or Hajjah, which is something that is the highest honor you can get as a Muslim person. And when you're a Hajj, it stays with you forever. It's in your name. It's something that, people will know you as, but you're not supposed to do it as something that's like getting you up higher to God or showing your community how cool you are. You're supposed to do it as something between you and God, saying that you're so devoted and dedicated to Him. It's a really big deal for Muslims to do that. So in this speech, I have informed you of the 5 pillars, and I talked to you about the Shahada, which was a testimony of your faith. I talked to you about the Salat, which was prayer. I talked to you about the Zakat, which was fasting, and I talked to you about the Psalm, which was giving, and I talked to you about the Hajj, which is the pilgrimage. And I hope that after listening to this, you guys have learned about the nonviolent nature of a lot of Muslims and how, Christians and Muslims aren't exactly that different when it comes to how they worship and live their lives. Thank you.